to you February 1st, 2025, Jeffrey Wayne, Healing Shame. And I'm going to read something and talk about it, and you'll see what I want to express. Let's get that on your screen for you. This is from the AA Daily Reflection, actually from yesterday, January 31st. Our common welfare comes first. The unity of Alcoholics Anonymous is the most cherished quality our society has. We stay whole or AA dies. From 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 129. Our traditions are key elements in the ego deflation process necessary to achieve and maintain sobriety in Alcoholics Anonymous. The first tradition reminds me not to take credit or authority for my recovery. Placing our common welfare first reminds me not to become a healer in this program. I am still one of the patients. Self-effacing elders built the ward. Without it, I doubt I would be alive. Without the group, few alcoholics would recover. The active role in renewed surrender of will enables me to step aside from the need to dominate, the desire for recognition, both of which played so great a part in my active alcoholism. Deferring my personal desires for the greater good of group growth contributes toward AA, unity that is central to all recovery. It helps me to remember that the whole is greater than the sum of all its parts. And that's from the book Daily Reflections, copyright 1990, Alcoholics Anonymous World Services Incorporated, all rights reserved. So what I wanted to emphasize from that reading was the second paragraph, where it said, I no longer am trying to dominate or seek recognition, because those were parts of my disease that were really the main pieces that kept me sick. They were such a fundamental part of my alcoholism. The desire to dominate and the desire to seek recognition, seeking recognition. Now, recently, I've been in this funk, this slump, and I have been trying to use my YouTube channel and my writing and any of my creative endeavors to get noticed or seeking validation from the world at large, from society, from my fellow Americans, just from the higher ups, right? The ones I think could get me into some kind of a record deal or, contract for writing, some kind of authorship. And this has made me very ill. It's made me very spiritually sick. My emotional sobriety has tanked out because I've been trying to seek recognition. And this has been going on for decades. I mean, since I was a kid, it traces all the way back to my childhood. I never got noticed for the things I did. It was overshadowed. It was always overshadowed by my older brother's achievements and what he was doing, his activities. And that pattern developed then for me to try to become recognized, validated, noticed, and I would even act out in negative ways as long as it would bring some kind of awareness of my existence. So I was seeking that all the time. It became an addiction. And then it just, once I found out, hey, I can do things. I have talents and skills like writing and making music and this and that, whatever, that I could bring to the world. But when I do that and I bring it to the world and I don't get anywhere, quote unquote, because I don't get to rub elbows with the big guys, or I don't get my name up in lights, okay, then I get pissed and I start to see other people around me are doing the same thing. And anyone, more than likely, you have to ask yourself this question. It's a hard question to ask and even harder to truthfully answer. Are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing stand-up comedy? Are you doing acting, movies, commercials? Are you in a garage band? Are you pursuing a medical degree? Are you going into pre med at university? You want to be a lawyer, a doctor, a big time businessman. You want to create something that the world notices. You want to go um, shoot a bunch of people at the mall or at a school. Are you wanting to do these things? And it's all connected. Are you wanting to do these things because you're seeking validation? You're seeking recognition. That is a very sick, that is very much a part of a disease that has very deep roots. And you have to ask yourself if you are seeking that by the action you're about to take, whatever it is, good or bad, you're never going to be satisfied if you're seeking external validation and external recognition, because that's the ego. And you're always going to want the next one. Okay. So even if you get the degree, even if you take that horrendous action, and a bunch of people have expired or gone because of your actions, you're going to want it again. You're going to want the ego needs to be validated. The ego is insatiable. Insatiable. And that's why it's part of the disease. You know, these addictions are run, they're rooted in shame, they're shame based. So at the core of the need for validation is a deep feeling of shame that we're faulty and defective. So you have to get to the root, but how it manifests is in the form of ego. We are egomaniacs with inferiority complexes. So inside we're this small, but we want to show the world we're huge. Look what I can do, and I'm going to do this and get in the news. It's never enough. The ego is insatiable. So if you find yourself doing things like the stand-up comedy or going to med school because you're trying to get noticed, recognized, you're trying to become prestigious or powerful, it's not going to work. In the end, you may walk around looking like you got things together, maybe have a little money in the bank or rubbing elbows with the big guys. You're going to fall. Eventually, you're going to fall. And it could come in the form of, maybe one day you just want to kill yourself or whatever it might be. Maybe you're just something innocuous like cheating on your husband. You're in movies, you're an actress now. Now you're cheating on your husband, or you can't stay loyal to any partner, even the ones you really like. Okay. So this need for recognition definitely was one of the biggest factors in what ran my alcoholism, was what kept me sick. And like I said, I've been really struggling with this recently, and now I see I had to circle back to AA just to understand that I need to let go. It's going to require a lot of higher power work and a lot of inventory to let go of this need for recognition. Domination, that's connected to the need for recognition, because if you get recognized, now you can dominate others. Now you're the big guy, right? This is all ego-based. It's not the type of life someone in recovery can live and be emotionally stable or emotionally sober. They can't coexist, because the ego does not come from a place of love. So remember that if you're in recovery, or if you're struggling and you want to try to come into the 12-step groups and start a new life, live in a different way, because most of the world runs on self-propulsion, and they're going to constantly trying to get what they want. And dominance and recognition is all part of it. The sickness of society, especially Western culture. America is pretty bad. So I just wanted to throw that out there, food for thought. It's helped me, this reading, tremendously. I'm very glad it has. And sometimes you just got to circle back to the mothership. AA is where it's at for me. That's what it takes, guys. Hope this helped. Until next time, all the best. Peace.